So a while ago now, PlanetSide 2 had a couple of new implants join the pool of options for players to make use of on their loadouts. And look, I get it, I'm late to the party, I know that, but hey, better late than never in my opinion, right? Today I want to start off by taking a look at one of those implants that in my opinion might start making its way into the meta for some players and their playstyle. G'day there once again viewers, this is your mate Kamikaze78 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the relatively new Scavenger implant. Alright, so for those of you who are unaware as to what this implant is and what it does, Scavenger is an uncommon tier implant that will restock X% of your primary and secondary weapons magazine for free whenever you score a kill with a wielded melee weapon or a secondary weapon, with the effect capping out at 30% once fully upgraded. So to clarify a bit on the key terminology here, you won't trigger the benefit with a quick melee attack. It has to be a melee weapon that you have out and wielded at the time of the kill. Interestingly enough, a kill with the Amaterasu, which is the range knife in the game, will trigger the benefits, so that's worth keeping in mind. It should also be noted that when the game says secondary weapon, it's referring exclusively to sidearms and non-ASP secondary weapon unlocks. Trust me, one of the first things I tried out when I got this implant was to see if it worked with my jackhammer in the secondary weapon slot with my ASP perk. And sadly, well, it didn't work. But on the flip side, thank God it didn't work, because then we would have a true balancing nightmare on our hands here if that were the case. But most importantly, and this is what needs to be set out in plain English here, is that whenever you trigger the implant's effect, your primary and secondary weapon's current magazine is what is restocked. It's not like a tick of ammo to the ammo pool like how Ammo Printer works. No, this restocks 30% of your current magazine's ammunition capacity. And I know that there are some people absolutely screaming at their screen right now telling me that I haven't mentioned the best part about the implant yet, and I hear you guys, don't worry, I haven't forgotten, we'll get to that later in the video. But first I want to take a look at the base effects of the implant, which in its own right can get pretty nutty under the right circumstances. Let's take the Gauss Saw for example. This weapon has a 100 round magazine. So say you're on a bit of a run so far and you get down to around about 25-ish rounds. What would you normally do? Well, probably find a nice and quiet corner to sit in, hit the R key for a reload, and then go read a good book. But now, well, you have the Scavenger implant, things have changed a bit. All you need to do is score a kill with your trusty sidearm, and boom, you have 30 rounds straight back into your magazine from the get-go. Kill a target with a pistol, and you get an AR's worth of ammo, good to go again, into your magazine, no reload required. And don't forget here that the very sidearm you just scored a kill with here also receives that 30% top up. So with weapons like the Commissioner and the Underboss, that means one extra round in the magazine as well. You get more breathing room to score more kills with your sidearm before you need to reload there too. So hell, if you're super accurate and the situation allows for it, you can get 2 kills with your sidearm before needing to reload the sidearm, and then you have 60 rounds back in the magazine of your 100 round mag LMG. And look, I'm willing to bet that by the time you score a kill or 2 with your Underboss or Commissioner and then reload it, you're probably still sitting under that pretty brutal reload time for the Gauss Saw, for example. So if you're good enough with your sidearm of choice, you can pretty much turn any weapon you want to, theoretically, into a budget Beetlejuice that reloads while holstered. Pretty nifty, hey? And well, the gameplay that you're seeing in the background should be a testament to that at times. I'm simply able to do my thing without interruption, because if I manage my ammo and my engagements properly, my Gauss Saw just simply doesn't have to reload. And from my limited testing as well, and please do tell me otherwise in the comments if I'm wrong here, but the effect seems to stack with the extended magazine attachments on some weapons as well, which means that the 200 round EM6 build that you can do, well, that gets a 60 round replay straight back into the mag every time you score a sidearm kill. And just to clarify, this doesn't just work with the Gauss Saw, this is, you know, commendable on every 100 round mag LMG weapon in the game. But okay, we're talking a lot about the heavy assault and LMGs in particular here. Does this implant have any place on other classes in the meta? Well, in my opinion, not particularly. And allow me to explain. All other weapon categories in the game that other classes have access to always have both smaller magazine sizes and faster reload times. Now, where Scavenger shines is in its ability to mitigate lengthy downtime on weapons that counterbalance their large magazine sizes by having longer reloads. But with most ARs and carbines sporting a 30 round magazine size on average, you've obviously got some weapons stretching above and below that average, you only net a 9 round benefit from the implant triggering on those weapons. Throw in the fact that most of these weapons have reload times that sit around 2 to 3 seconds, reload time generally, then by taking this implant on those classes, you're kind of trying to find a solution to a problem that doesn't really exist. On the Heavy Assault with these longer reload times, you can realistically whip out a secondary weapon, score a kill, and completely mitigate the primary weapon downtime for a couple of more engagements and keep your frontline presence longer without needing to fall back. It can all be done within a time frame of how long it would take you to reload with that LMG in the first place. But with the carbine and AR category, and even more so with the SMG category, the 9 extra rounds that you'll get on average probably only gives you, what, 1 engagement of extra wiggle room to work with at best, and then you'll have to repeat the process to break even at your best as well. At that point, the return on investment isn't worth changing your gameplay loop around to try and shoehorn the implant's effects into your playstyle, especially when you have to give up another implant to fit it into the kit. I've always said that in this game, an item can't be judged on its individual merit alone. It also needs to be judged against the merit of everything else that can be taken in the slot that it occupies. And in my opinion, when you compare the more meta implants that are in the game currently for those other classes that we all know and love, they are still king, all things considered, when compared against Scavenger. Scavenger definitely makes more of an impact on the Heavy because with some good positioning, target prioritization, and resource management, which is what the Heavy is all about, it lets you mitigate a lot of downtime in tense situations. It's very much following the same argument that we made in the ammo belt breakdown video. It's all about complementing a playstyle and making it play better, not trying to rework the wheel. Heavy Assaults are all about uptime, and everything about this implant helps with that. Classes like your Light Assault, Engineer, Infiltrator, Combat Medic, they're all squishier in a frontline role and typically are going to be punished less by reloading more frequently. That's just how their weapons are balanced. The ammo belt changes, therefore, as we said before, already better hit those more hit and run classes with a more impactful change, while this new implant really seems to be a better mesh with the chunky boys of Araxis. There is one exception to this that I want to point out here though, and that is the Stalker Cloaker playstyle, because if you want to run this implant on a pistol only loadout, then every kill you're going to net is going to go straight back into that magazine of your weapon, assuming you don't quick knife anybody. And when you use the Pilot in particular, things get quite interesting. The Pilot can one-tap opponents with headshots if all 3 of your rounds of a burst hit the cranium area in the maximum damage range, and 30% of a Pilot's 12-round magazine is 3.6. So if you score a 3-shot kill on a target, then you could potentially break net 0 and never have to go through a reload with the Pilot, which is kind of nutty to think about theoretically. Throw on Gunslinger with that, and well, when you do have to go through a reload, it's done before you can even register hitting the R key. The only caveat on a Stalker Cloaker kit is that you don't really have the durability to be chaining kills back to back, so more often than not, you'll have enough time to score a reload anyway in the downtime that you would normally take with a kit like this. You're not necessarily robbing yourself of killing opportunity in the first place by taking downtime with the Stalker Cloaker. In fact, it's more often than not required. So it can be fun to run on a Stalker Cloaking kit when it works, but I think I would still rather take something like Vampire or Deep Operative in its place, or even Sensor Shield, but that's just me. So as it stands, much like how the ammunition belt change was designed to help with your more hit and run style classes that reload a whole lot, this implant is all about mitigating reloads on longer reloading time weapons. And the effect this has on weapons like the Gauss Saw is just monumental at times. I was able to go on kill streaks that I simply wouldn't have been able to have done in the past. Once again, the gameplay should be a testament to that. But hold on. Things get a little bit more interesting. When you get this implant to level 5, there is an additional effect that takes place as well. When you are killed, your magazines for both your primary and secondary weapons are completely restocked. So if you're revived, Bob's your uncle, you are good to go and get back to murdering hordes of enemies again as if you reloaded while you were dead. Combine this with the Safeguard implant that gives you more health upon a revive, and you have a very competitive point-holding heavy assault loadout that will pretty much act like a fresh cab off the rank every time you get revived. I'm sure we're all too familiar with those zombie fights on capture points in the dying minutes of Alert where, you know, there are res grenades going off left, right, and center, you can't tell what's going on. You know, how many times in those zombie fights did you run out of primary weapon ammo and just lost your mojo because of it? You were down to knifing like a madman and you were kind of a little less combat effective as a result of that. Well, that's no longer an issue here. This is an incredibly powerful benefit to have on your side in that exact situation. And because of that, I genuinely believe that this implant in the point holding meta in particular will become a pretty common occurrence in loadouts. And look, I'm all for, meta changing implants that are very powerful making an appearance. Part of me is a little worried that this could be a little too overpowered. I mean, getting a free 100 round mag every time you get revived, that can seriously change the flow of a fight if the person who gets back up knows how to aim and, prioritize their targets, especially in those chaotic environments. So we'll have to see how things go. I haven't been playing a lot in operations per se, so I haven't really had a chance to test out the implant where I think it'll be strongest, but I also haven't seen particularly a lot of people running it, or at least I haven't noticed a lot of people particularly running it. But let me know in the comments section down below, guys, if you're running Scavenger. If so, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think it's overpowered? Do you think it's balanced just right? Would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to backhand the like button. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. And if you're new here, well, consider subscribing as well, guys. It keeps you up to date with whenever we go live and whenever we release a brand new video. Social media links, as per always, are linked in the description down below, guys. So I hope to see you guys in our Discord in particular as well. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.